Alrighty, guys, welcome into the AfterSchrock. This is like the post-game show. We're going to do a quick one here today. We've just resigned ourselves to the fact that if we're going to do an AfterSchrock, we're going to have to create a new Facebook Live feed to do that, because the other one, just like clockwork, it ended right at the end of the show. We were watching it. I set all the microphones up and said, let's see if it keeps going, and I took my headphones off. I do that at the end of the show. I take the headphones off, and that way on the video I can tell, without having to have the audio polluting the environment, I can tell if the AfterSchrock is on or not. And it wasn't. Right when I took the headphones off, it stopped. So we created a new feed, and I'm going to see how many. We almost had 30 people watching the feed at the end of the show. We're back up to 13 now. We'll see how it goes. But I got some good stories for you today. All right. Story number one. Omaha Service Center this week. We had a situation where we made a mistake, and we had to own up to that mistake. And it was a mistake I didn't realize that we had made until a year almost later. And so what happened was a gentleman came in about a year ago, had a bad hard drive in his computer, paid us $150 for the 1 terabyte hard drive and then installation. Basically cloning and replacing his hard drive with a 1 terabyte drive. For whatever reason, I don't know if the guys just grabbed the wrong drive off the shelf or it was mislabeled in our system or whatever. They grabbed a 500 gigabyte hard drive instead of a 1 terabyte drive, which is a $50 price difference in the cost. So the reason the customer was upset about it is, the computer about a year later, something else went wrong, and he goes, I'm not putting any more money into this thing. So he went out and got a new computer, and he went out and bought himself one of the data transfer rigs that you can get, that you take your hard drive out of your old computer and plug it in, and it transfers your information for you. Well, he opened up his computer and pulled the hard drive out and saw that it was a 500 gigabyte hard drive. And he said, oh my gosh, Shrock Innovations ripped me off. And so he came in, and he was really nervous when he came in. Like, his hands were shaking, his voice was quivering a little bit. And I felt really bad for the guy because he knew he was he took pictures with his phone to show me the drive, and I looked at the drive. It was one of our drives that we sold, so I could tell that just by looking at it. So he turns around and says, okay, what are you going to do for me? And I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to make this right. So, I'm sorry that, the computer is dead at this point, right? So I'll refund you the difference between the drives. Obviously, there was a $50 price difference in the cost of that drive, and I should refund that money back to you. So he turns around and says, how do I know you did any of the other work? He wanted a full refund of the entire $250 repair cost. And he says, well, how do I know you did the other repair work at all? And I'm like, well, you used the computer for a year and it worked fine until something else went wrong. He goes, well, how do I know that what else went wrong wasn't the result of you putting the wrong hard drive in my computer? Now, technically, I can look at this situation from a technician's perspective and say, there is absolutely no possible way that putting a smaller capacity hard drive in your computer will cause something else to go wrong. Ain't going to happen. But from a consumer's perspective, they're not going to see that. Okay, so labor services are not refundable. It's part of our return policy. Labor services are non-refundable. The hard drive cost, we're not getting the hard drive. He didn't bring the hard drive in with him. He still hasn't transferred his data yet. So I said, okay, let me see if I can make this. Tell you what, you're trying to do a data transfer, why don't I give you the $50 refund, and then we'll do the data transfer for you as well at no cost. And he goes, no, I'm not doing anything with you guys again. Okay, so translation. If you're ever asking for a refund at any place, guys, it's never a good idea to say you're never going to be a customer again, because the only motivation that company has to really, if it's a seedier place to work with you, is the fact that they might get future business from you. Why don't you tell them you're never going to come in again? Okay, so he tells me that, and I'm like, okay, well, here's I can't refund I can't give you a full refund on the hardware because the hardware is used now. I can't. So then he takes the manufacturing date and says this drive was manufactured 2 years ago, or whatever it was. So it's obviously wasn't a new drive when it went in. Well, when we buy drives, they don't always come in date order. It's not like baked bread that comes off the assembly line and we get them in. So yeah, it could have, we don't necessarily take them off the shelf in order, but they're sealed in bags that come from the manufacturer. So, it doesn't mean it wasn't a new drive. Anyway, long story short, he says, one time, best offer, I want you to tell me what my 3 reviews on Yelp, Facebook, and Google are going to mean to you if you don't give me my money back. That hit me. Not because, yeah, of course we don't want bad reviews. We really, really, really don't want bad reviews because people make purchasing decisions based on reviews. Google makes website ranking decisions based on reviews. One bad review could cost us thousands of dollars in business. This customer knew that. So he says, what are you going to do? And I'm like, so now at this point, the conversation has taken a somewhat hostile turn. Now, it may not appear this way, folks, but I'm attempting to lose some weight here. You see, I need to get rid of. There we go. That's better. I need to lose some weight. So I've been eating less. I hadn't eaten that day yet, and he caught me at just the right moment. That I said, now you're trying to extort me. He goes, no, I'm not extorting anybody. This is just how it is. You know, this doesn't have to go anywhere. It could be just between us, implying or not. You know, and so. I know I wanted to stand my ground. I wanted to because the guy was never going to be a customer again. He was really being mean. And he knew that I would give him his money back, and he was taking advantage of that. So I said, fine, I'll give you a refund. I was a little more flippant than I should have been. He caught me in a really bad moment. I went into the back room and took 2 deep breaths, and I came out and apologized again to him and said, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude with you. You caught me in a bad moment. It's hard to describe to customers sometimes how much our integrity means to us at Shrock, how vitally important it is that stays pristine. It can't even have the appearance of something not being right. It has to be perfect because people need to trust us. If we're going to do business in this industry where there are so many competitors that will do the work for less, but most of them have, some of them have criminal records, criminal backgrounds for information technology, data theft. No joke. Some of them have convictions for much more serious crimes that I won't even talk about because these are things you don't talk about on Sunday mornings. And some of them are just, generally, some of them are good guys. Some of them are just getting by, but most of them, there's usually some situation there. There's some desperation there. They don't get a lot of work, so they have to make every job count kind of thing. And they're going to charge as much as they can in each job because that's what they need to pay the bills and put the food on the table. So at Shrock, when you come in, it's really important to me and to my staff that you understand that we're going to do what's right. What this gentleman was demanding wasn't what was right or fair. What he was demanding was what he wanted, which I understand. And yeah, so we refunded his money, and I told him, I apologized for being rude. I was rude at first, and I apologize for that because he caught me in a bad moment, and it was his first interaction with me, and I didn't want his first and probably only interaction with me to be, well, that rude guy gave me my money back, but he sure ain't what he sounds like on the radio. And that's why I talk about these things when we're doing aftershocks and radio shows and stuff, because if I own up to it with you guys, and then you hear about it later, I'm being honest with you about it. And on the other hand, and I know I'm being honest with you, I don't ever have to sit here and wonder if the next call coming in is going to be something I don't want to hear. So basically, that was the fun refund story. So we will go through a lot of extremes to try to get good customer reviews or try to prevent bad customer reviews and make customers happy. I told him he had to bring in the hard drive too, because we're giving him a full refund on hardware that he's not even bringing. Imagine you walked into Best Buy and you said, I want a refund on this thing, and I want it right now or I'm going to leave bad reviews. But I didn't bring the hardware with me, and I still need it because I have to get my information off of it. But maybe I'll bring it in when I'm done. And they give you the refund anyway. Imagine that happening at any place else. So yeah, so we did it. Anyway, fun times. So there's that one. Let's see, in the service centers this week, if you're into cryptocurrency mining or if you're into gaming, we've got some leads on graphics cards. Those are very, very difficult to come by right now. Most of the miners are buying up all the graphics cards. We had a couple builds that both required 1080 Ti's, which are next to impossible to get. Even at the $1,500 price point, they're next to impossible to get right now. And we were able to secure them. So if you need a build that has an advanced graphics card, or you're looking for an advanced graphics card, I can't tell you that they're going to be, much super cheaper than the retail prices you're going to see online. But most of those ones you see online, you can't get even at that price. They're just out of stock. So we can get them. If you're looking for something like that, let us know. We'd be happy to get that for you. Let's see. The Ryzen chip has been out for a year. Can you believe this? This is what we were super excited about. The Ryzen processor was AMD's new chip that changed everything. It was faster than Intel's chip. Intel had no answer for it. They tried pushing out a couple other chips that just were not fast enough. They weren't any competition for the Ryzen chips. And then when the Spectre vulnerability hit, the reason that it hit Intel processors so disproportionately was because Intel chips use optimization technology to make them faster. So once you get into the chip, the software of the computer can't stop the compromise, the vulnerability, because it's so fast. So the only way you can fix that with a patch is to slow down the processor as much as 30%. So it's been a really bad year for Intel. And computers and servers, it's been a really bad year. And it's been a banner year for AMD. That they're pushing out their Ryzens and just killing it. Came out in March of 2017. The Ryzen chip was featured in the 2017 holiday special. I mentioned we're changing out our computer line right now. Those of you who have computers on order, never fear, you're going to get the new line. That's one of the reasons why you're seeing the older ones disappearing, is because we're putting the new ones out, and the existing orders that we have for the old model systems will be filled with new model systems. That started happening this week. So you might get a little bit more than you paid for on your invoice, because you're going to get the new model system if you bought a modular computer before. So the Ryzen chips, though, they were amazing. They were just absolutely phenomenal. And all of our modular desktops now are built with Ryzen APUs and Ryzen processors, the AM4 socket basically. The laptops that we offer, they all also have some of them have you can see the A9 or the A10. What is that? That's a Ryzen processor in a laptop. So it's amazing. So we do our best to keep everything fresh at Shrock. When you buy a computer, when you come to Shrock to buy your computer, the reason why we don't push computers really hard on the radio show very often, just a couple times a year when we do specials, is because we don't make very much money when we sell computers. It's hard to advertise computers because you're spending money on the advertising and you're not making it back in the product. So we sell service. So sometimes to deliver service, we have to deliver the hardware that comes with the service. And oh my gosh, guys, I am working so hard on trying to put together a system that would allow us to sell a computer as a service. Oh, that's the holy grail, the golden ring, if I can get it, is to be able to say for like $35 a month, here's a computer, an antivirus, and Drive Advisor, and Secure Updater, and the Shrock Desk, and a warranty, everything. You don't have to worry about anything. The 2-year commitment. At the end of 2 years, you can turn it back in and get a new model if you want, the newer one, no additional cost. Or you can keep the model you have if, software compatibility, whatnot, you want to stay with what you got. That's cool too. The problem is, when we launch this hardware, we don't make a lot of money on hardware, as I've mentioned already. So what happens is, if we launch this kind of a special and we have a bunch of people come in and do this, we have to pay full price for the hardware out the door, and then we're making it back at like $25, $35 a month. Eventually, over a 2-year term, it's more profitable for us to sell the hardware that way. It is cheaper for you as a consumer to buy the hardware that way. Everybody wins. But that upfront punch in the gut is a cash flow burst. And if you've ever owned a small business or you've worked with a small business, you know that profitability is important, but cash flow is important too. And so if we had 100 customers come in at one time and say, I want this, it would literally put us under the table. So, we have to sit down and figure out, do we do like a limited engagement? Do we have a waiting list? But then people won't buy computers because they're on the waiting list. So is that any different than? So we're trying to figure out a way to do this, and maybe we could do something with the ultimate upgrade. I don't know. We're gonna look into it. But the ultimate upgrade's coming this spring. The next maintenance checkup sale is coming this spring as well. So I've had a lot of people calling and asking questions about that. So those of you who are watching right now, the big Shrock fans out there, you may still have a prepaid maintenance certificate. If you do, next week I'm going to start the push. Come on in with that. They're starting to expire. So try to get in this week with those certificates so that we can render that service for you while it's warm like this. As soon as it gets warmer out, people actually stop bringing their computers in as often. So now's a great time to come in. When it gets warm enough to put plants in the ground, that's when we're going to do the maintenance checkup special. That's why I can't tell you an exact date, because I'm not God and I don't know when to put plants in the ground. Okay? The lovely Kimberly is the gardener in the family, so she will tell me when it's time to put plants in the ground. I'll walk into the garage and there will be plants, and I'll say it's getting close to maintenance checkup special time, and then I'll start giving you guys a heads up. All right, so if any of you have questions that you weren't able to ask during the show, any kind of questions about Shrock or weird stuff that you just didn't seem to fit, now is your opportunity to ask them. I'm going to fill here for 10 or 15 seconds while we wait to see if anybody has a question. If you do have a question, go ahead and just post it in the comments over there. Thor, can I put a Ryzen chip in my 2014 holiday special laptop? Great question, Bill. Unfortunately, laptops are all chip on board with the processors. The chip is baked into the motherboard, and the Ryzen, the 2014 holiday special laptops have almost always been Intel processors, because they're in laptops up until this last year, Intel processors were just stupid faster. And we couldn't put you into a slow chip and sell it for that kind of money. We had to put you into an Intel chip to justify that level of investment in a computer and to get you the new memory. Because the old AMD chips, we couldn't use DDR4 memory. The solid states wouldn't have been as fast because the whole computer would have been slower. So we really needed to make sure it had an Intel chip. So unfortunately, we can't switch that out. Let's see. I kind of ran through it quickly, but if you do have a modular computer, please do call us and check on your warranty status on your computer. And if your warranty is expired, we can extend that for you. It's $125 to extend it for 1 year, and that's after the fact. It's $100 when you buy the computer, but it's $125 after the fact. But with that warranty, if you need it, your hard drive is like a $300 fix. Your power supply is a $250 fix. Your processor and motherboard, that's a $300 fix plus. So anything that can really go wrong with your computer, aside from just like a little fan or something, is going to cost more than $100 to fix. So having that extended warranty on file will save you a boatload of money. I mean, when I was getting endpoint calls when I was working in the service center this week to renew endpoint, and I was just checking people's warranties while I was renewing their endpoint and saying, hey, your warranty's expired. Are you sure you don't want to renew this? And I tell them about the extended warranty, and they had no idea that they could get their money back at the end. And I'm like, I guess I don't talk about this on the radio that much, so I wanted to make sure I hit on it today. So check us when you call in for your endpoint or whenever you have a contact with Shrock. Check on the warranty expiration of your computer, because like that 2014 holiday special, Bill, if you crack the screen on that bad boy, that's a $300 fix. If the solid state hard drive in that thing goes out, that was a 500 or 1 terabyte solid state, that's going to be a $500 fix if you're out of warranty. Make sure you get your extended warranty. We sell amazing computers, amazing technology at a price lower than what you're going to get at a box store. But the parts are expensive, guys. When we have to replace them, it's expensive. Get the warranty, and it'll save you hundreds of dollars. All right. On a website, Ron asks, when I click to send a story to a friend, it brings up the Windows Mail program. Will default app settings change that to Thunderbird? Absolutely it will. You just need to change your default mail app from Windows Mail to Thunderbird, and it'll open Thunderbird every time for you. All right. Gail, if I have my laptop on, does Secure Updater update? Yes, if you leave it on, Secure Updater will update. There is a new version of Secure Updater out. Your Secure Updater icon should look like a little shield in the lower right-hand corner now and not a circle. If it looks like a circle still, not on your desktop, but down in the corner by your clock, if it looks like a circle, you still have the old version, do an update manually, and if that doesn't get rid of the circle, give us a call and we'll get rid of it for you over the Shrock desk. All right, Paul asks, I bought a refurbished iPhone 6s to replace the 5S. Nice move. The new one has more storage. I swapped out the SIM card, and now when I install a new app on the phone, it appears on the old. Is there a way for the old phone to operate like a touch? There is. This is when you go into your Apple accounts, you need to basically, you have your phone set up on one account. When you install an app on one device, it installs it on all the devices. So you can do that. If you want to set it up as a separate device, I believe you can set it up as a child device. Lovely Kimberly, if you're still on, you'd probably answer this one better than me, but I bet you can set it up as a child device, because we do this for my kids, because my wife does not want every stupid game that my son has on his iPhone on her phone. So she sets up a child account so that he has his own separate kind of identity with Apple, and he can install his own stuff, because basically Apple intends one iTunes account per email address and one device family per person. So technically, every person is supposed to have their own Apple identity, and every person, when they install one app on one device, gets it installed on all devices, which can be a problem if your phone is short on storage. All right. How many times can you renew your warranty? Great question, Gloria. You can renew your warranty to infinity and beyond. When you buy a new computer, we give you the opportunity to extend the warranty up to 3 years. The reason we offer you a multi-year option when you buy a computer is the warranty is cheaper when you buy the computer than it is to add it after it expires. $25 a year cheaper. So you can add a 3-year warranty when you buy a computer, giving you a 4-year total warranty. As you might recall from previous programs, modular computers are designed to last 4 to 6 years. That's why we cap it right there. So if you go 4 years and you never have a warranty claim, you will get the full amount of your warranty returned to you. If you want to extend the warranty after the fact, you can continue extending the warranty until you're tired of that computer and you get a new one. If you happen to get a new computer while you still have that warranty purchased, you will still get a call at the end of the year telling you that we owe you money. You'll go back and check it. Hey, you recycled that computer, so obviously you didn't use the warranty. Here's a gift card back for the warranty money from that computer. You can use it to do a Shrock Desk extension or to buy a Shrock Desk subscription. You can use it for a semantic endpoint extension for your antivirus. You can use it for a secure updater license extension. You can use it for a repair. It doesn't expire. It doesn't recede in value. You can keep it in your purse forever like a gift card. Good to go. So you can keep extending it forever. All right, Ron asks, using a Windows 7 backup, is there a way to have it send to a folder? I use a separate external hard drive for backups on all my computers, and I'd like to put each computer in a separate folder. There's not a way using Windows 7 backup to designate a folder. However, you can designate a drive letter. So what I would suggest we do is we take the Windows 7 backup and the backup drive, and you can actually split that into separate partitions. So if you had 3 computers and a 1 terabyte hard drive, that'd be 3 333 gigabyte partitions. And then you could send, each one will get a letter. It'll be like, EFG. So computer 1 could back up to the E drive, computer 2 could back up to the F drive, and computer G could back up to 3. Gosh, it's like Sesame Street. Computer 3 could back up to G. Today's letter is the letter 3. So yeah, and when you plug in that external hard drive, all 3 letters will appear. So yeah, that would be how I would handle that one. All right, thank you for hanging in there, lovely Kimberly. Paul, it's probably just auto-downloading purchasing apps to the old phone. Settings, iTunes apps, you can see auto-downloads. Click to disable. I love my Apple family. All right. All righty, so there we go, Ron. Yep, all right, so we're good to go. Any other questions to wrap up while we're on the program today? As always, your reviews are deeply, deeply appreciated. You have no idea that one bad review, he assures me that it's going to be between just he, me, and his wife now. No one else will ever hear about it. So I could have just kept quiet about it. No one else would have ever known. But as the lovely Kimberly will tell you, keeping my mouth shut is not my strong suit. But good reviews are very deeply appreciated. They make a dramatic difference to our business. If you have not given a Google review for Shrock Innovations lately, please do so. You can review each of the 3 service centers if you really want to. So if you reviewed Lincoln before, you could throw a review for Omaha. I'm not suggesting you give us fake reviews. Don't get me wrong. No, fake news, nothing like that. But if you enjoy the program, you can review the radio show. You can leave a Google review saying, I love the radio show every week. If you love the AfterSchrock, you can leave a Google review that says, I love the AfterSchrock. Please keep doing it every week. Make an effort, Thor, to do it every week, okay? Those reviews, especially the Google reviews. The other reviews are great. Facebook reviews, all those make us feel good. But the Google reviews are the things that actually push customers through our doors. And having additional customers through our doors means that we can have more staff, which means we can have faster service, which means we find more great guys like Gabe and Drake and Jacob and all those are the 3 newbies that we have that are just amazing hires. We can continue to grow and expand and offer more services like computers. We have more people coming in for repair business. We're not so reliant on computers for cash flow. We can do some different things, some crazy things, some cool things. So your Google reviews are like the first step in that happening. So to leave a Google review, all you have to do is go to Google and type in Shrock Innovations Lincoln or Shrock Innovations Omaha or Shrock Innovations Papillion. Type it in there. It'll bring up the little business listing thing on the side of the screen over there, or actually reverse over here, it'll bring it up. And when that comes up on the screen. You can just click 5 stars or 4 stars if you really don't. What I love is when somebody clicks 3 stars and says, I love them, they're amazing, and they click 3 stars, and you're like, that's an average review. We're amazing, and you love us in an average kind of way. Maybe. So if you can leave that 5-star review and throw some words down there, it means the world to us. I'll respond to your review, too. It's kind of cool. But anyway, if there's no other questions, I'm going to wrap it up for the day here. I've got to get back home to the family. I'm sure the lovely Kimberly's ready to hop in the shower this morning, and that means I'm on kid duty. So we got to get that going. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Where can I get a good deal on an iPod Touch 128 gig? I don't know, actually. I would probably say eBay would be your best bet there, Keith. I did try to find the maximum storage capacity that I could find for my daughter when I bought hers on the Apple refurbished site. The biggest one they had available was a 32 gig. So, yeah. Good luck. They're expensive. All right. Got to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the program today. Don't miss the morning blend tomorrow at 9:35, Monday morning. I have no idea what I'm going to be talking about yet. I haven't thought that far ahead. That's tomorrow. I'll worry about today first. And then we'll be on TV there. And then, of course, in the service centers, we open today at noon, open from noon to 5, and then Monday we open at 10. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a great afternoon.